Dear Derry, welcome to Saturday. I have, over the last hour or two, I have been watching many, like 7, videos featuring a lady named Shirley Corriher. I don't know if you are familiar with who she is, but if you are at all interested in cooking, you should be familiar with who she is. If you are not, you should be, and so I'm going to make you familiar with who she is right now. Shirley Corriher believe she was originally a chemist, and then eventually she started cooking because she sort of had to, because she and her husband at the time bought a boarding house. They opened like a boys' school, and she had to cook for like 60 guys. And she's like, "Oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing," kind of thing. But because of her love of chemistry, she started figuring out why food does what it does when you add heat or acid, or you make something too basic, or whatever. Well, I should say too alkaline. But she wrote 2 books. One is called Bakewise, which talks about baking, because baking and cooking, very, very different things. You can take a bunch of stuff and throw it in a pot with some liquid and turn it on, and it will make something awesome. You don't really have to measure too much. You don't have to pay that much of attention to it. You can just kind of go with it, eyeball it, whatever. With baking, it's a very different beast, and you have to be much more careful about your amounts, because if you don't do them in the correct proportions, things will not work properly, and you will wind up with horrible messes that are inedible. Well, Bakewise, she kind of covers all that. She discusses all the various things that you do when you're baking and all the science behind what's going on in that oven, or even before you even get there. If you're making bread, For example, one of the things that she talks about very often is the fact that you don't need to knead bread. You don't need to do it. It kind of does it automatically when it's rising if you make it properly, if you make your dough correctly. Anyway, I've been watching a lot of videos with her, and like I said, I don't own Bakewise, but I do own her book, Cookwise. Oh! And I'm going to start reading. I always told people that it's not a cookbook, which is kind of true and kind of not. I mean, there are recipes in here. But this book is mostly about, here's what's going on in your food while you're making it, Why does, you're making, let's say, candy or something, which, it's not coming out sweet enough. It's too bitter. What's the problem? Add some salt, but that's going to make it salty. Amazingly enough, one of the things that I heard her say in some of the videos that I've been watching is, a lot of candy makers are like, if you want to sweeten something up, just add a pinch of salt, because salt is very, very good at suppressing bitterness, and it'll bring the sweetness out. It's like you get, thank you. You get, like caramel with a piece of sea salt on it. And it is amazing how it's not a huge chunk of sea salt, because I've had some that had way too much sea salt on it. And I was just like, oh. But, yeah, very, very cool book. I can hardly wait to dig into that. Gonna be looking at that. That's gonna be cool. But, she discusses a lot of neat stuff in that, and in the videos. But if you feel, look up some of the videos with her. Just do a YouTube search on her and watch some of the videos where she discusses different ways of doing things. Amazing. She has a recipe for putting pork butt in a slow cooker, like in a crock pot. Holy crap. I mean, just so simple. And okay, let's go with Gordon Ramsay. When he was doing Kitchen Nightmares in England, in Europe, because some of them were in Paris and whatever. But when he was doing, the British version of the show, I loved that version of the show. It's like the original Iron Chef in Japan. Loved it. The American one, nah, not so much. It's okay, but I much preferred the Japanese one. Anyway, Kitchen Nightmares, same thing. I prefer the original version of the show, which is done, in England and all around Europe and whatnot. But one of the things you get a very clear sense of is that Gordon Ramsay was going over that. He was chewing these people out. He was tearing them down, ripping everything that they're doing apart because it's all wrong. It's like going to basic training. When you're going into the military, they tear you apart to rebuild you into what you need to be. And it sounds horrible, but if that's not what you want, don't call the man. Don't call him in. It's like Bar Rescue with John Tafford, in which, again, first season or two, I loved it, and then it started getting a little bit, super promotional kind of thing, and was very, yeah. Anyway, a lot of corporate logos in it, and everything was advertisements, and yeah. But originally, he comes in and he just demolishes places. And it's like, do you know why your business is failing? Because you are doing it wrong. And he comes in and he just starts screaming at people because they're not listening. If you come in, or if you call the man in to help you build, rebuild your business, shut up and let him do it. He knows what he's doing. He's got successful bars everywhere. Gordon Ramsay knows how to do, a good restaurant. He's done it before many, many times. Listen to the man. Shirley knows how to cook. She didn't. But she sure as hell does now when she understands the science behind what she's doing. Anyway, I was talking about Kitchen Nightmares. Most of the places that he went, they were trying to do things way too complex. Way too much complexity in what they were doing. Very simple. You will hear him say this if you go back and watch the first couple of seasons of Kitchen Nightmares. You will hear him say, more often than not, simple, rustic food. And those are some of the flavors that are so amazing. You don't have to get complex with it. You don't have to. If you know what you're doing, you can, because you have the skill to pull it off. If you don't know what you're doing, don't mess with it. Just do the simple stuff. It's like crafting in an MMO. Go make me 400 jute placemats, please, or hair ties, or napkin rings, or socks, jute socks. Oh God, those would be coarse. You would never have to exfoliate your feet again, but those would be harsh. Sorry. Jute is it's a very coarse material. You could make no, I was going to say you could make underwear out of it, but that would probably be a little too much. Okay, 8 minutes of talking about cooking and jute underwear. All right, so basically talking about crafting, just mostly crafting in real life, though. There was something else. I actually had something I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it was. I went shopping today. That's what it was. I went out to go, and obviously, as you can see, I don't have a new car or money, the cash equivalent of a new car. So I went to my credit union's special contest thing, and I tried my key in the lockbox, and it didn't work. Oh well. So then we left from there and went and got we did some shopping and came back to the house. So I have food in the house again. I'm so happy. Next thing I got to do, I was talking to my buddy in England. I've mentioned it before, but it was probably a while back. Matthew Holmes. He was a morning guy. The morning show, not a DJ. I mean, he's kind of a DJ, but anyway, morning show guy. At OX 105 before they said, okay, everybody, bye-bye. Anyway, now he's kind of a promotions manager sort of dude out there in England. And he and I have just spent the last hour and a half talking about how to promote, me. He's like, do you have a promotion budget? And I'm like, that's really funny. No. I'm like, I barely have budget for rent right now. So, as I'm sitting here, I can, in the background, well, you can't see it because it's on this monitor. I'm watching as Audacity, as the sound waves are going by, and I see the laugh. was like, oh, that was where I was laughing. Okay. It's clipping quite a bit. Oh, well. So he gave me a lot of pointers. And he told me that, one very important thing that I've been not necessarily putting off, I've just been, kind of lazy about it, is the fact that my voice, my demo reel on YouTube here, it's somewhere. Well, it's not on this page, but I need to make a new one because the one that I've got is like 7 months old. And if you go to my demo reel, somebody in the comments section was like, "This is like 7 months old. Do you have anything newer?" Like, not right now, but I really should make a new one. So that's kind of his thing is, okay, I want a new show reel by next week. Go. I'm like, aye, aye, sir. Except I said it with a thoroughly British salute, so it would be thoroughly British. Right. So 11 minutes of now crafting and self-promotion, which is something I've never been very good at. I'm just not good at talking myself up, I never have been. I prefer to let what I can do speak for me, I guess, rather than tout myself and then get somebody to see what I can do. But I guess that's how promotion works, is you got to be able to tout yourself. So, new show reel next week. That's the thing. So that'll probably do it for Saturday. Yes, we're closing in on 12 minutes. So I'm going to let you guys go. And I will talk to you guys. And I just realized, looking at my image on the screen here, that I have a very strong shadow on this side of my face because I did not take this lampshade off, because this lampshade should not have been on there for the entire course of the thing. So now the lighting is a little more even. A little more even. Oh, well. So, right. Now, closing on 12 and a half minutes. Shut up, Tran. Shut up. All right. I'm going to go. I will talk to you guys tomorrow for Sunday. No truck rallies, though. Okay. Be careless.